Eyes of the Scarlet Rose 2. Chapter 1. Marcus closed the big French doors behind us, sighing heavily. Could have been worse. I glanced at him, watching his beautiful olive complexion glint within the dim ceiling light. Those redolent eyes of his deeper than the dark skies of the Montecito night. Did she hurt you, puppy? Did she hurt you? Marcus frowned down at my face, squeezing me within his chest. She has left quite the mark of rage across your face. He peered closer at the hot redness that was growing more tender by the minute. He licked his thumb and gently rubbed it across the skin of my face, and it instantly burned. Look, he squinted, turning me towards the floor-length mirror. She scratched you with her nail or something. I peered over my shoulder at us in the reflection, my cheek catching the overhead ceiling light. I saw the long and bloody scratch mark along it. No wonder it hurt so bad. I looked bad also. The bags under my eyes were as bad as Massey's. Hell, probably worse. The last few days have had me racked to my core, like nothing ever before. Well, I'm sure you've left her with one too. I turned my attention back to Marcus, wandering toward the bed, pulling the damask curtains away from their robes. Oh, what a day. I inhaled deeply, dragging myself closer to him, feeling the heaviness of each stride. It's been madness. Take my sling off, baby. Marcus winced in pain, falling on the bed quickly. I crawled up through the blankets until I was pressed up against his back, looking for the clasp that held the sling in place. I slowly ran my fingers through his dark mane of hair and kissed his ear. He rolled his head back, closing his eyes. You sure it's a good thing? I wriggled my fingers around the clasp. Taking this off? I'm sure it's good, Marcus assured me, waiting patiently as I fumbled around. It's itching me. Lucky you're right-handed. I carefully removed the sling from around his shut-up arm and then took off his black tee. Lucky, otherwise you'd have to do all my business. That could be fun. I smirked, quickly propping the pillows up against the headrest. Oh, disastrous. Marcus immediately flopped back, exhausted. He was done. Come, he sighed, quickly pulling me down onto him with his good arm. Come sit next to me for a minute, my lady. I fell into his big, strong arm and snuggled up against his chest. Let's just breathe together, he murmured. Okay, puppy, I whispered, rubbing my hand over his warm skin. We both lay there, our chests rising and falling, our eyes fixated on the scarlet roses outside the windows, gently swaying in the high, salty night air. What a fucking day. I wanted to forget it. What are we going to do about all that media outside the gates? I finally blurted out. They were annoying the hell out of me. They're tenacious, I'll give them that. Or desperate. Nothing. Marcus yawned, sinking further into the pillows as I slowly untied the drawstring of his sweats. What can they do if no one talks? He gazed with fascination as I undressed myself. They'll eventually run out of steam. Get bored? I don't know. They can say what they want, write what they want. I don't give a damn. Well, they are pissing me off. I mumbled, throwing my clothes on the floor. Privacy invaders, disturbers of the peace. Marcus's mood shifted the moment he got an eyeful of my heavy chest. I have missed you, he whispered, rubbing his hand in between my breasts. What happens if April talks? I wondered, snuggling my naked body against his, watching his fingers slide back and forth against my skin. She wouldn't dream of it. Marcus slurred in his saucy accent, now slowly tracing his fingers up around my perkiness. If she wants her handsome divorce settlement. Are you worried about the divorce? I turned and rested my chin on his shoulder. Ha, of course not. Marcus scoffed, abruptly stopping his fingers. We signed a prenup, and even if we didn't, I'm not worried. It's just money. Look at all the bullshit it's given me. How can money equate to a peaceful life, huh? All I want is peace. Peace! I would have been happier as a sugarcane farmer back in my native. He sputtered quietly. But as quickly as he said that, a soft, silky energy ate him deep, and those haunting, dark eyes of his grew gentle. However, you, my queen, have made me happier than I could have ever imagined. I smiled and laid my head back down on his shoulder. Just money, I mimicked sarcastically. The sugarcane farmer and his woman. You know April's gonna try and squeeze all that she can out of you. Let her. Marcus groveled. I wish her the greatest luck. She's gonna need it. We lay in silence for a good long moment, watching our chests move in unison. Let's get away for a while, Marcus finally muttered through the darkness. Where to? I glanced at him, the shadows of the night outlining his flawless contours. Let's go to Europe. He inhaled deeply, closing his eyes. When? My surprised voice getting louder. Tomorrow. Now I sat upright in the bed. Tomorrow? I glared at his face. But don't you want to sleep for a week first? We can sleep for a week when we get there. Marcus stared at me, reaching up with his arm and tracing his fingers over my lips. It'll take the heat off. Let's go to the Med. Puppy! I cried out laughing. We haven't even been home for a few days and you want to go again? Do you want to stay here right now? Marcus retorted with obvious sarcasm, twisting on his side to face me. No, not particularly, I giggled. Those assholes outside the gates are driving me nuts. Me too, Marcus agreed. So let's do it. Now don't get me wrong. I am always up for the spontaneity of Marcus Almeida. And this unwanted 24/7 media frenzy we'd been hit with since arriving back from the shooting in Colombia was absolutely bothering me something bad. I hated it. The fact that people can sit outside of someone's property with cameras squashed up against someone's wall, making money from someone else's pain and hardship, is one of the things I don't understand about this Hollywood culture. And not to mention the fact that April was lurking within 200 feet of us wasn't making me feel any better. I truly couldn't blame Marcus for wanting to escape. He absolutely loathed publicity, even more than me. And by now, I had grown used to his crazy impulsiveness. But of course, let's not forget that ultra-deep money can bring about that kind of impulsiveness very easily. One could afford to do whatever one wanted, whenever one wanted. No limits. Europe would be the perfect getaway. I'll have a talk with April in the morning. Marcus yawned again. Hopefully. Good luck, honey, I thought to myself, gritting my teeth together. An image of her red face reeking with psycho made me shudder. I have a place in Marbella, Marcus muttered, interrupting my thoughts. And a boat. We could stay there for a while. Or up at Saint Jean Camphara at a hotel. Whatever you want to do, my lady. Relax, eat, sleep, laze around. A smirk peeled through my lips. Cannot imagine Marcos Almeida lazing around. I'll try my best, he mumbled affectionately through the darkness. Are we really gonna be left alone? I wondered, gazing up in his face. 100%, Marcus assured, squeezing me tighter. Nobody gives a shit over there. Their manners are much more finer. What kind of boat do you have? I asked out of curiosity. A tin one, Marcus murmured. I smiled wide. Marcus Almeida owned nothing remotely made of tin. Maybe we could invite Mama Estella and your sisters, I suggested. Might be nice for them to come and spend some time with us. Oh, maybe. Marcus yawned. You can drive me around the French Riviera. I burst out laughing. You really love my driving? I grinned, rubbing his warm six-pack, my fingers etching over the permanent crevices of his stomach muscles. Marcus pulled my head closer to his and kissed my lips softly. Bonetero, I'm wild for your driving, he whispered excitedly. My wild woman. I slipped my hand down his sweats and went exploring, down towards the warm and tender regions of the wrath awaiting deployment between his legs. Now that's more like it, Marcus moaned, arching his head back. His warm rod of flesh quickly grew thick between my fingertips. The perfect medicine, I muttered, feeling my nether regions become fuzzed with lust. Absolutely the perfect medicine, he murmured, stroking my face gently, glancing at me. I slowly pulled away the fabric from his body and slid my face down to give him some much-needed care. As my hot breath cavorted along the length of his stiffened shaft, I slowly massaged it with long licks of pleasure, thrusting it in between my soft lips, feeling the angry flesh swell twofold within the wetness of my mouth, squeezing itself down into my throat. I peered up at Marcus laying back, his chest rising up and down with desperate anticipation. He stared at me with those dark, evocative eyes, deftly controlling himself, yet totally burnished with that lustful look of my imminent destruction. My lady, he panted hard, mouth agape, slowly pulling his fingers through my hair gently. I knew he wanted to destroy me, but I wanted to destroy him first. I wanted him to feel it tonight, especially tonight, to make it all better for him and to take away all the stress he must have been feeling within. I knew the enormous pressure he had been dealing with, and I truly wished I could have taken it all away from him. We shared a long, silent exchange as that rod of flesh slid deeper into my throat, saliva quickly running down the side of my neck. My lady has adjusted, he murmured, giving me an approving nod, all the while never once pulling away from my inviting eyes. Hardly, honey. That's what love does to someone, willing to tip over the edge, to reach depths never before gone. Marcus took my hand within his, squeezing it hard in a forceful grip, as I knew he was edging towards that abyss of ultimate ecstasy. I could feel the veins of his fattened, angry flesh bursting within the rim of my mouth. Oh, let me have you, baby, he whispered gently. I wrested myself away from his veiny deliciousness and straddled myself over him, spreading my legs apart, filling my wanton box of warm treasure open up wide, slipping down onto his weapon of destruction as he gently expanded my moistened walls to maximum capacity. I groaned loudly as we both became lost within our own delirious world of exhausted pleasure. Sex really can make it all better, I thought to myself as I rocked back and forth in heady profligacy. We both fell deeper and deeper within the abysmal depths of our private, carnal lust. I carefully leaned onto his chest, avoiding the wounds on his body, and deeply kissed those soft, succulent lips, our tongues getting lost within their own lawless passion. "Oh, I love you," I whispered, staring into those dark, haunting eyes. Marcus thrust harder and deeper within me. "I'm yours forever," he muttered into my hot breath, his pleasure spilling over as he pushed his wet tongue back into my mouth, sharing my passionate kiss. Chapter 2. The early morning glaze of sunlight streamed through the terrace gardens as I opened my weary eyes, rolling over to an empty bed. No Marcos. Surprise, surprise. I sighed, listening to the morning birds chirping their songs in the gusty, cool breeze. April quickly came to the forefront of my mind. I peered through the curtains up towards the main house, looking to see if I could see any movement. Nothing. Wonder what mayhem is going down right now. I rummaged for my cell phone through the bedsheets. 9:32 a.m. After rolling from one side of the bed to the other for the next 10 minutes, I finally dragged my ass out and fell into a hot, steaming shower. The hot water burned like splinters, but wow, did it feel good. I must have stayed under there for an eternity. Suddenly I heard some noise, the side door, and in walked Marcus. His face looked tired as he gave me that beautiful morning smile, and without words spoken, he dropped his sweatpants and slid into the shower beside me, shirt, sling, and all. Chuckling to myself, I gently unclipped him and pulled his wet shirt from his body, slopping against the tiles. "Morning, my lady." He softly pressed his lips onto mine, cupping my breasts within the warm slip of the water. "Good morning, my darling." I returned the kiss, undoing his bandage and lathered soap all over his shoulders. "Tell me the news. What happened up there this morning?" "Oh, she's too fresh." Marcus sighed heavily. "She needs time." "I can only imagine how fresh April is this morning, honey," I thought to myself. "Fresh as hell, I bet." "She says she's gonna press charges on me for hitting her." Marcus sighed, looking down at his bullet wound. "Oh, really? Well, perhaps I should press charges on her for hitting me first." I glared at him incredulously. "Should I remind her of that?" She is deranged, a total loose cannon. "She's all bark and no bite." Marcus smiled, unfazed. "Don't worry, she won't follow through." "So the med sounds good." I rubbed his thick neck with soapy foam. "The med sounds good." Marcus nodded, putting his hands around my slippery waist. "Shall we bring Henry with us?" I wondered, looking up at his chiseled jawline. "April won't allow it right now." Marcus shook his head, "but he can come later if he likes, when she cools down." "I would offer to pack your bag, but..." "Haha, you don't want to go in that house right now." Marcus quickly raised his wet eyebrows at me. "As if I want to go into that house with her, honey." "I do not want to go in that house right now," I laughed, easing his nerves. "Lydia and Lola are here. They're getting my bags ready, so you better pack a bag or two," Marcus suggested, but pack light," he smirked. "We'll go shopping when we get there." "Ooh, European fashion? I couldn't wait for it. It called to me." We finally drudged out of the shower, toasted and melted but very well cleansed, and Marcus went back into the main house. I had a quick spy around the gardens through the curtains, and those pesky media vans were still parked outside the main gates. "Oh, get out of here!" I wanted to scream at them. It was unbelievable. I got organized and quickly packed a couple of suitcases, but truth be told, I was getting used to this packing light deal with Marcos. Flying halfway across the world without clothes was becoming the norm for me now. Some jewels had to come, though. Suddenly there was a gentle knock at the door. I turned and was greeted by Lydia's sweet smile. Oh, she looked tired. "Oh, Lydia!" I rushed to her and let her in. In wafted milky coffee and a warm croissant with melted cheese. She placed it on the table. "Oh!" I gushed excitedly, taking the mug. "You read my mind." No counting calories today. I burnt off today's quota with all that romping with Marcos last night. "Good morning, Miss Bunny." Lydia hugged me tightly, pulling away and looking at my face. "Wow, Miss Bunny!" Lydia gasped with a hard frown. "Madame, she did this to you?" "Yes." I touched my cheek softly. It was tender and sore. "Madame did this last night." "Oh my goodness, Miss Bunny!" She put her hand to her mouth. "I cannot believe it." Delicately, she went to touch it, muttering under her breath in Spanish. "Madame, she gone loca." "But you knew she was going to be angry, Lydia." I eyed her lowly. Of course," Lydia cried, exasperated. "But a woman with class. Don't hit another woman. She must maintain herself." Marcus hit her back, I muttered with wide eyes. "Backhanded her." Lydia dropped her jaw and gasped. "You are joking." "He was so angry, Lydia." My voice hushed to a whisper. "Everything happened so fast. Now April said she's going to report him." "What?" Lydia hissed, edging closer to me. "I should be the one reporting her. Anyway, what's the house like this morning?" "Oh, cold," Lydia replied. "She's like ice to senor." Well, I can't hear any screaming yet." I giggled, taking a huge bite of croissant, shoving as much of it into my mouth as possible. Marcus wasn't watching me, so my true hunger was revealing itself in an ugly way. Senor, very patient with her. Madame had this coming for a long time." Lydia nodded, handing me the coffee. "I'd see it even before you came here, Miss Bunny. The strain of the marriage for him. I know, senor, for a long, long time." She gazed in my eyes tenderly. "He not violent. He not angry man. But April make him angry." "Henry's still sleeping, thank goodness." "Better for him," I muttered, slurping the sugary coffee. "I know Marcus is not violent, Lydia. He was defending me." It was a sudden impulse in the heat of the moment. "We're going to Europe today." Good for you, Miss Bunny. Good for Senor, too. I pack his bags already," she said, heading for the door. "I will bring them down here soon." "How did you get past all those vans at the gate?" I asked her curiously. "I called out to them, 'Aleate, aleate!'" Lydia flung the tea towel up in front of her face, dramatically. I chuckled to myself. "And did they listen?" "No." Lydia shrugged her shoulders. "They laughed at me. Harry very, very cross sitting in his box. He calling the police this morning." I can imagine happy Harry, not all that happy this morning. Yes, I agreed. Good idea. It's time to get rid of them. Surely the police can do something about it. Lydia left me to my packing, and I quickly rummaged through my closet for an assortment of things. Who knew European weather? Certainly not me. Pack light, I kept telling myself. Dale sprung to my mind. I fumbled for my cell phone on the bed and sent her a text. Off to Europe, darling. Much needed. We'll be in touch when we get back. Kiss, kiss. I finally found my Mikimoto black Tahitian pearls and held them against my neck. Yes, I was definitely feeling myself. Today they're on. I quickly thought about those dangerous De Grizigono diamonds I stole from Estea. I knew they needed the vault. I'll sort it out with Marcos. Ding! I grabbed my cell phone and glanced at the screen. Not Dale, but Mal Vowden. OMG, Bon. All over morning paper again. Rats. Here if you need anything. Anything. Stay strong. Kiss. My fingers rushed over the dial pad. Thanks, Mal. Off to Europe. See you upon return. Kiss. I shoved the rest of that cheesy croissant in my mouth just as Marcus was crunching down over the gravel outside my quarters. I quickly swallowed as the door closed behind him. He had a small smile. You ready, honey? He grinned slowly. I'm ready, puppy. I returned the smile, glancing at his damp mounds of black hair, combed to the side. He was dashing. Tal has organized a private breakfast for us at his home. Marcus sighed, putting some keys in his pocket. Really? You mean the house? The house next to the Biltmore? I looked at him inquisitively. And you agreed? But just us, Marcus quickly added. He actually offered us his home to get away from all this publicity crap for the next few weeks. I told him we're flying out this morning, so he offered to put breakfast on for us instead. That is so kind. There really are some supportive people out there, I thought to myself. Not sure what I was going to eat after that croissant, but hey, I had already started, so I might as well just keep going. But isn't he April's friend? I wondered cautiously. He's also my friend, Marcus gently reminded me. I nodded silently. Listen. Marcus pulled me close to him, staring down into my face. It's not in anyone's interest to be taking sides, he assured me, squeezing the nape of my neck, gazing into my eyes. These are mature people, my lady. Well, it speaks highly of him. And it did. It wasn't before long that unmarked Range Rover rolled up to the drive, and we quickly piled our bags in the back, and I took one last glance up to the main house. She must be watching us with daggers up there, I thought with a smirk, ready for the kill. We squashed together onto the back seat, and the Range Rover, with windows so blacked out I could barely see 3 inches in front of my face, was for good purpose. As soon as those gates opened, that driver hauled ass right through the crowd of cameras and down the mountain. I got a quick 1-second glance of flashes going off, but that was it. That wasn't too bad, I thought. I peered in the back window, watching people clambering into their cars with their tripods. The driver pressed the pedal harder to the metal. There was no way they were catching us.